Alright. Welcome, welcome. It's been a while, huh? Let's see. There we go. Okay. Had to click a couple things over there. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, no, it's been, I've got into this weird rhythm of doing these every 2 weeks, huh? I've just been, you know how it is. It's been busy. Busy with work, and then it's like, you crash at home of just being super exhausted. I'm just making plays and just running around, you know? And it's like I'm just getting much more than I bargained for, I guess, for not being uber active, I guess. So hi Cookie and hi Sky Burns. Oh, that was Sky Buns. Welcome, welcome. Sorry. Welcome, guys. Today should be fun. Probably explain this too, that I probably won't finish this today, or at least within the next couple hours. So this will be a large enough project that's like at least to just perfect it. We could probably get the the building blocks and structure of it, but to actually get it complete and perfect, it's gonna take a little bit more doing. Welcome, Caesar. Not sure what that's saying, but all right. Welcome, welcome. I think I'll just cut this out. Let's just let's just jump in. Welcome, welcome. There's a lot to look at here, but hello, hello. Welcome, 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 welcome. Woo, woo, woo. Hi, Luna. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I guess I can wave to all you guys now. So, hi, Star, Cookie, and no Star yet. Sorry. Sorry, so used to it. Sorry. Cookie, Sky, and Caesar, and Luna. Okay. For everyone who's chatted so far. If you're here when you haven't chatted, that's what I'm not saying to you guys, because I don't actually know if you're here. Yeah. Alrighty. Cool. So we got Sunny, but today, hopefully by the end of today, we'll have her be Pipp instead. So that's the goal. Is to try and recolor, rechange her, morph her into another horse, basically. So join me, will you? Hello, hello. Hi Dakota. Favorite Sonic, as in Sonic characters. I like Tails and Blaze. Those are cool characters. In terms of favorite Sonic, I don't know, the blue one. I guess in Brawl I like the ones with the glowy green rings, hands. It doesn't really have other colors. Yeah, let's see. New overlay? Not so much. I just kind of did a color shift to make it more close to, I guess, Pipp's main purpley colors. But yeah, I just used OBS to change the color hue shift to get it to be closer to that. But yeah, it's the same animation, so that's fun. I don't have to re-export and re-animate it, and I can be very flexible that I can change it any time now. So that's fun. Okie dokie. Let's see here. So I'm using Toon Boom Harmony 21 Premium. I'm sure in a couple months or less they'll have a newer version of Toon Boom 22 probably. But yeah, for right now this is what we got so far. But yeah, let's see. Favorite G5 MLP character. I think before the movie I was like into Izzy, and that she was fun and being the creative one. But I think then I got into Pipp, like how cool she was and like how cool of a design she is, and we'll probably talk about her design all today. But I think after Make Your Mark, I'm more of a Zip fan. I'm slowly getting through the whole list and being like, wow, these characters are cool. As I get, you know, more acquainted with them, you know, and I was like, ooh, this one's cool too. Ooh. As soon as I have like solo character arcs and it's like we learn more about them, it's like, ooh, this one's cool too. Kind of a thing. Sunny is just so generic that I just not completely sold on their character personally, but she's still cool. And the last one, Hitch. Yeah, it's hard to write for him. I don't know. Because as soon as the only way you can really write him is like Spike, or it's like the only way to really make any kind of character conflict is to make him a dummy, but then it just comes off as a complete, you know, brain dead of like not being able to really see what's in front of him, and it's like just like open your eyes, you know, like what's going on, able to see stuff that's like right in front of you to put things together. Like he's the sheriff to like know, supposed to know things, how things are, you know, be detective and figure things out and beat a moral high ground, but is if he doesn't understand either side, it's like it's annoying, to say the least. Anyway, let's see. Hi, everybody. Ronnie there. Nice, Derpy. Thank you. I actually updated her. It's now added that slight parallax. I don't know if you're able to really see it, but I can now kind of spin my head a little bit. So there's some slight head morphing. There's some other little small tweaks. So thank you. Thank you for noticing that she looks a little bit different, but hopefully not as distracting. But yeah, she'll feel a little bit more fun to look at. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. So this puppet I made like before the movie, so there's some inconsistencies, and we don't have her rainbow hair, which I started to sort of work on, but the way that this is all set up and means that it doesn't quite work. But what we got is a whole bunch of different frames and a whole different poses of her head at different angles, and then different mouth shapes, blinks, expressions, and then exploding, where she disappears. But the point of this little box here and this slider, free back and forth MLP, back on full. Oh, jeez. Pipp, the one that dressed as a pirate for the Halloween. Yeah. The cool thing about this is that this is a master controller inside of Toon Boom. So I'm using a little dot on the left side. And so what it's doing is that it's interpolating between the different poses that I gave it. Obviously it's not perfect 100%, but I'm still learning with all this. But this is just allows you to, you know, you can go into animation and be like, I want this pose, and then you bop, got it. But what if you want slightly different? Or you want to like tween and have frames in between, but you don't know what that's going to look like in perspective? You can just make like these different poses, and then Toon Boom magically then makes the rest of the other 360 divide, you know, different poses here. So, but it allows you to just kind of like pick a pose and wherever you want, and then go from there, and then you can still like edit her and be like, oh, I want her to then open her mouth, and got all different mouth frames here, and be like beep. And then if I want her eyes, I can kind of go into one of these eyeballs. Pose this one. Pose this one. Change an eyebrow, you know. Eyebrow. And now we got expression, then we just move on, you know. It's like way magic, and I think most of the time it actually sticks some of those different ones. So like the eyebrows still there. But yeah, it just allows you to very easily swap between a whole bunch of fun different expressions, and don't feel too limited by literally the different poses that you already have, or what, you know, you provided these different poses here. All of these ones that I had to handcraft. See how crazy this can get. Beep. So I was using these behind the scenes deformers. So every single deformer is able to move the artwork around in whole different pieces here. So I can kind of move around the artwork in very specific ways, you know. So I have to like trace around the shapes, but it allows me to really pretty freely. Choose the different points and then go from here and animate. So everything has deformers. But obviously animating just with deformers is only like half the battle. You don't want to really just animate with these. They're more just like to get like this pose, and then you would use different different pegs here to then kind of like move the whole leg up. But then you can like move this down into a pose and then animate this and then get the lower and then kind of lift it up a little bit, play for your deformer a little bit more, and just to get the pose that you want and be like, boop, now I got this pose. And the fun part is I did not draw this pose. That's the biggest thing, you know. I didn't say like, what does this pose look like? You know, I have to like go in and like draw the outline and then figure it out and be like, okay, now this part's here, and be like, I have to draw this from scratch and be like, nope, I'm literally taking all the pieces that I already have and just kind of morphing them and moving them around and jimmying them around to then get something right. And it's still completely flexible, you know. So that's the magic of all of that. I'm just so happy that Toon Boom has this. That's like Flash almost has this, but it's like, you know, it's gonna be completely not the same. But yeah, let's get on with this to change this while everything's still working. Change this to Pipp here. So I got a whole bunch of different reference pictures from the SkyTails, I think, the Blender 3D version, to get a couple pictures there, and from the 2D version, forgot the YouTube one, and then to get the cutie mark. It's really weird how hard it is to find pictures of the cutie marks. I noticed that's like they don't really talk about or really mention the cutie marks at all really in G5 yet. Unless I'm missing something with the 2D one. I haven't watched all of them yet. But it's just interesting how much not information about the cutie marks there is. They're like, it's kind of like they're there. Nothing really important to note about them, you know. Let's see. So I did make this sketch of a couple different very quick sketches to kind of figure out what kind of shapes I wanted for the different poses here. See if I can find them. Beep. That's probably easier to see. To change what their Pipp's haircut looks like. I'm gonna go for a somewhat, obviously my style, you know, this kind of unique style, where it's kind of close to, cause the 2D version here wasn't out when I made this base model, so I was just going off the first movie. So I was like, I don't know what they're really gonna look like in 2D, so I just made something. So I based it more as if it was a 2D version of the movie version, rather than being this more flat, more geometric-y, very bare bones style. So it's like a weird hybrid of it. Yeah, let's try and go from outside in. So let's just do your Sunny's palette, her colors. So I think I'll just go through this and then recolor her first, and then remove any assets that we don't need, like her hair, and then start from there. So I think most of her colors are from that one. Will probably be what I'll probably take from the most. Try to view this so you can see everything at once. There we go. Yeah, I like made a square on top to hide the YouTube watermark there. Okay, so that's the outline. Let's skip to fill. So the fun part is about Toon Boom is that if you use the right colors and these swatches, depending on if you use it for everything, you can just use it across the entire board and be like, boop, now it's recolored. Let's see. So I'll just have to go through all of these and see which one's which. So pupil seems to be just a dark color here. So I'll just get this green color. I'm gonna pop that down way far. Iris has 2 colors. So we'll just get these again, and then have one of these be a little bit lighter, a little bit darker maybe. Somewhere in the middle there. These are all adjustable too, like these aren't gonna be final or anything there. My invisible, my little cheek markers to see. So I can click on the cheeks easy without having to resort to finding them in the node view. Cheek. Let's see. There. Iris highlight. That's this one. So again, we'll just take this and then see. It's like a nice olive color. We're getting there. Ear fill. So this, and then a little bit lighter, I think. Mouth back. Let's kind of open her mouth, maybe on this frame. Or I guess we can see it from here. Obviously it's a little bit weird, but I think it'll work. Tongue teeth. These will be the same. Let's see. Toes, and especially all this, toe fill. It's gonna be something like this. This is why I wanted the higher quality. See what this one is. That's the gold there. And toe out, same color but darker. Hoof gradient, that's this, which I don't think she has. So I might want to just recolor this. All these to just be the same as all this. So I'll just go through each of these. And recolor that. Maybe see why this one's a little bit off. I might have been, yeah, okay, so I was on the wrong picture there, wrong layer. Okay, halfway there. Toe fill, toe gradient, hoof gradient, shadow, cutie marks, and then hair fill. Let's see. Hair fill is almost the same color. It'd be this one. So let's do one of these. Hair light as a highlight. We'll just go with that. Hair outline. We're probably going to need a whole bunch more colors to get the little tiara colors. All of this. Might also notice that her drawing here is actually flipped. For whatever reason, I found out that the 2D YouTube ones are actually, Pipp's hair design is actually flipped. It actually goes over her, I guess, her left eye. But in the movies and the 3D ones, they go over her right eye. So I flipped it just to make mine make sense. But, yeah. Because I'm just used to it being like this. But yeah, this is what it looked like in the YouTube version. The real one is on the right here. So I flipped it. So I don't know why. Okay. Got most of our colors. We'll add some more once we get into the different assets, but I think I'll just start with the tail because I think this will be easiest here. It's basically the same. I think I'll just remove that Pipp. This one had some fun here, but her tail actually is just very basic shape, so I think I'm just gonna see what I can do here. see if I could just remove one of these points here, and then just straighten it out. And boop. It's actually as much as I wanted to do for all of this. How you guys doing? Oh yeah, I completed the 13 achievements in the Steam the pony game. I apparently got all the things I needed, but I still don't have gold star, 3 gold stars in the herding games. So the bunny herding and the crab herding. Yeah, I don't have 3 stars there, so I know. Telling you, I'm just, I don't know, it's just something about it. Like the critter AI is just so hard to understand that I did try for like a couple hours, but then didn't get any progress, so it just kind of just fell apart after that. And it's like, oh man. So that's the 3/4 one. Here's the back view. It's basically the same, so that's good. Make it a little bit smaller. It's using the same asset drawing, so that should still work. And because it's basically the same, this should still work. There we go. Fun work stories. Fun. Yeah, let me see what I got there. Your work is much more challenging than I thought it would be. It's I don't know what I'm saying here. Let me get some juice here before I say anything bad. We're in the busy T-ball season, apparently, where I've done, oh boy, about like 10 T-ball plates for different T-ball teams. Yeah, just like this last week. So, that requires, I don't think that doesn't work. So that requires having to make up, I'm just gonna see, get a plate there, okay. Taking the list that they gave me of all the team names, team players, all that, figuring out what size of plate, so you could have like a square base at the bottom, and you have a little sticker with the name on it, and then that goes onto, a little maybe like a little cup one, and something like this. So all I do is just a sticker down here. So what I do, but yeah, they get the fancy trophy at the top there. But actually, it's more. I forgot my lasso does not usually work. We get more stuff like this where it's a riser. And then whatever kind of sport they might be doing, so maybe have like some sort of, some little guy at the top, and then something here. And then it's the difference of like what the height of this is, determines some stuff. But yeah, usually I'm just kind of just doing this bit is right here. So, and then give it to them. The guys in the back room to complete it with the rest of the design there. Hi cartoons, welcome. I'm recoloring my Sunny into Pipp. It's working on the cutie mark now. So I got my general design here. So what I usually like to do is get a very basic sketch here. Again, it's just like so much opportunities for storytelling, but they don't want to tell us about it yet. What these cutie marks mean. But yeah, a lot of fun with we got a new hiree to work in the back room because it's family owned, so they have a great pride for still having their like their great grandfather still like working in the back making the trophies as he did like who knows, you know, 40-50 years ago or something really crazy probably. It's fun to see him still going. He's still got it. So that's fun. Let's see. Get some general there. Let's see. Hi Mario. The new hiree is, I don't wanna, first impressions is that he's good. I don't want to say anything, but he might actually watch his later, so I don't know. I haven't told him about the YouTube channel yet, so I'm sure eventually he might find out, so I don't want to say anything. But I had my 90-day review, so I had a review with the boss, to say like how just in general, like how you doing, you know, you're doing the different machines, you're doing, you know, how's that all going, you know, are you feeling confident, are you feeling good about all this, like do you have any issues or problems or any kind of concerns, you know, stuff like that. So that was fun. I was able to, you know, feel comfortable enough to kind of say some stuff of like, yeah, this isn't working. This is what I've been working with is in Windows XP, you know, old 2000s version, and makes things complicated because that one's not connected to the internet. So simple stuff of like, hey, I want to use, they send me like emails with the different plate names, the different like teams, and like what goes on the plates, you know. They say like you should have the Green Dragons, and you should have Phil, and then Sim, and then Jeff, and then, you know, to say like you gotta have these kind of people on it, and then you put those all together on in a design program, CorelDRAW, like CorelDRAW 13 or something, and it's like that's kind of hard to you know, get from the XP, you know, get that information from, you know, from the internet version, because XP does not have internet supported anymore. So be able to really do anything, you know, get any of that transferred over, having to like use USB and then having to copy it over. So there's a lot of like reliance on spell checks and such to make sure that everything's spell checked and proofed. We do internal proofs where I just say to my coworkers that are in the room and say, hey, can you come over here? I need to do a spell check to say like, is this good? Is this all good? So it's wasting their time in a sense. That's like they have to apparently mine's off or like some network thing or something. It's definitely not supported enough that it can really do anything too good. Well, I can definitely check again, but definitely using the internet, it's like turned off or something. Yeah. I think I just got an email. I didn't read this weekend. Fire hold on. Yeah. Yeah, it's tricky. So I asked my boss, like, you know, is there a way, and then maybe we can figure this out, like maybe we can, I suggested like maybe we can have the boss, when they send me the emails, also send it as a Word document, or at least some sort of file that, you know, is openable on both machines, and then send it as a file onto our network, So we have a private network or something where for all of our work files. So probably all the computers are able to have access to it. So it's like, well, why not then just have the boss also send a Word document that then has it in there, and then I'll be able to then open that up on the XP machine without having to do it myself, basically. So I know this isn't perfect, so I'm probably gonna adjust this as I go. So it's like these go inward, these go outward. But yeah, so we're testing that out to see if that's a viable option. Like, logistically, is that okay? How much more time does that really waste? But it's like, the point is hopefully to be able to use that so then I don't have to then do too many spell checks, because then I'll be able to open up the Word document, have CorelDRAW, and then basically take the doc and then select the text and copy it over basically into the CorelDRAW and then bop it in. And then I know 99%, you know, positive that my spelling is correct because it's basically the same text. So then it would just be the proof in a sense that is just only layout to make sure that the everything makes sense, and layout that everything, team name and all that is lined up rather than is Sproggle spelled correctly. You know, I get these huge names sometimes that are like, whoa. That are just way too complex. It's like, you have to really be careful about what you're doing there. And it's like, okay. So I helped a little bit with that. That maybe that'll go somewhere. You know, maybe that'll come around and we'll be able to speed up our efficiency a little bit. But yeah, I'm super glad that my idea is being at least suggested. So that's good. Also some other fun stuff. Should I say like I got a raise by like $1? It's not that bad. Let's see. Oh, we got. Let me go back over here and see. Kitty bark. Just gonna adjust it. I see. I just want to get this going here. Okay, there we go. Got it. Also, our braid's a little bit weird because I recolored it. Hi guys. Let's see. Also, didn't animation. Oh yeah, Mario! I did see that. That was really fun. I loved how personal it was. That was great. I think I watched all the way through. That was really cool. Yeah, I liked it. And hi to Tail. Welcome, welcome. What keyboard? I think I just got a regular Logitech. I think my mouse. Yeah, I have two wireless. My keyboard and mouse are wireless. This makes that way easy. And the rest of my tech are in the description in the FAQ section. So peruse that if you like. Just for the tablet and software that I'm using. Yeah, let me see. So that looks okay. So if I want to make it, kind of make it a little bit thinner, maybe. Add some more perspective. There we go. So we're kind of working our way up to her head now. Let's see. So hopefully, this looks like it's using that drawing. Obviously, it's using that one. So let's swap it. Beep. So there we go. So now she animates, and we got the tail and her cutie mark now on both sides. It's just easier to have them rather than not, you know. Key marks on both sides. It just works out easier. Okay. What should we do next? Should we work on some of her hair or maybe her wings? I'll probably just have like a blank picture and then I'll have to rig the wings like on its own, you know, on my own time. Like that's gonna be to be able to do like a wing flap and anything else I wanted to do, and on different angles, it's gonna be a lot more work. Same with the hair. I mean, it's gonna be so many different pieces there are here. This little curly cue there, all of this crazy rarity style hair, and her maybe trying to figure out what the word of this is. It's not a brooch, a pendant. Little tiny tiara style thing, but it's like Greek or Roman or one of those ancient styles. It's pretty cool. And then in the cartoon, they just kind of make it a little, have a little olive and then little spiky things. For the 3D one, it's actually like modeled and has little ribbons there, and these are individual leaves. But that's good efficiency there. Okay, get in there. Let's see. I usually for something you can put my friends 11 on there too. Make sure you ask for, you know, permission to use likenesses. Which is a good rule of thumb, is to make sure that people are know about it in some way. Surprising people and being like, yeah, I put you in a cartoon. It's like, I don't know. it can backfire on you. What do we got? I haven't looked at this file in a long time. I want to see where I can put this. Maybe we'll just put the wing and the torso for now and then rig it later. As long as it's sort of put up something, back legs, tail. I have to put this on a separate thing. As long as it's part of this, excuse me, as long as it's part of this peg goes down and reaches down to each of these different parts here, like a different back legs, and tail and torso, front leg and other front leg, so that this controls all those different things I said, and so that when I move that moves everything here. Obviously it doesn't move the head because the head's not part of this section here, but the body itself is also part of here, and the head is its own thing, and then the shadow. But inside the head has all of these parts. This is crazy. This is just one eyeball. Some hair. I'll talk about all that later. And the hair. So for now, let's just make a new drawing. Pipp, wing, and then I'll just go from here. Add a composite. Add a peg, and rig it up from here. Backdrop. The composite needs to, otherwise it won't render or actually work. You have to then rig it into here, which goes into, at least just get into some way that it can go into the output. And the output is this from here, and that goes down into this, into here, into this output, which is this output, which then goes into this composite, which is the main one, which goes into the right. If somewhere in this train it doesn't actually connect, then it won't render, which means that when you click go, beep, then it won't actually go. So anyway, we don't want to have any artwork in there yet, so that's why there's nothing there yet. So let's get going on there then. Boop, 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 boop. Let's see. Hi, Imperial. Hello, hello. Let me go back up a little bit. Totem all on me, all up it. Yeah, there you go. So those are valve free. Awesome. That's good to hear. Finland. Ooh, Finland. Okay. I just watched your Derpy Man in that first time. Thank you. Thank you. That's my water. Boop. Wanted to hug. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yay. Alrighty. Let's get going. On to more crazy things here. I appreciate it. What I want to do, I probably make a new color. Might be easy. This will be wing fill. Oop, not Philly. And wing outline. So the wing fill, we'll go with this color. Beep. Wing outline. Beep. We can always change that. Beep. Okay. So go into the wing by selecting it here. And use one of these to then see if I can draw in here. Beep. Okay. So just do the same thing. Get the general shape of where the boundaries are. Because obviously there's void space, so I have no clue where anything is. And then do the same thing. Same process. Oop. Got it selected right. Vector art looks complicated. Yeah, it can be. Usually I'm so used to this that's like, don't really think about how actually completely insane all this actually does look. I know whenever I open someone else's file or, you know, look through any tutorials to see what they got, you know, watch any other people's live streams and such and be like, huh. I know that you have a method for this. I definitely don't know what's going on either. Until you start really breaking it down, and then you're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I'm just like the general structure for a lot of this stuff is complicated. There isn't like an easy middle ground of like, yeah, I did this, and like this is a universal way to rig. That's like completely not a real thing. There's general practices and obviously different good methods for rigging and vector art and drawing and stuff, you know, perspective and general art stuff and real world stuff, you know. But yeah, for this kind of like vector art or rigging and all that kind of artwork stuff that I do kind of stick as best as I can to those kind of principles that are universal. You know, at least more than one person would probably use it. You know, basically like the general perspective stuff, you know, and be like, okay, if something's looking from down above, this is how you would draw a cube, you know, if you're looking at it from above or something, it might look like that, and then it kind of skew into this point. And so you'd have like a face and kind of go like that. Everything would kind of be squished down towards there. And then a big head there, you know. A little block boy, you know, kind of style. So, obviously if you said like this was looking up, you know, if you were an ant and you looked up at him, obviously that doesn't make any sense with how this works. So, you know. There's general rules and there's definitely ways to go about it that's like it most people would understand. But yeah, I understand like on the whole it doesn't make sense initially. If that made any sense, I don't know. Yeah, the more you get accustomed to it, the more accustomed you get to it, you know. But yeah, I guess I've had like, I mean, I've been drawing and doing creative stuff since I can really remember, really. Remember as a kid, like doing a whole bunch of fun, you know, the popsicle sticks, for pillow forts, and I did some painting, finger painting, a lot of puppets, like Muppets kind of style. I had a lot of fun with that. That was definitely my personality was was puppets. So this is just digital puppets. The way that these characters are rigged. Where puppets and cutout are kind of interchangeable of vocabulary, but it just means that you have certain vector, or not really vector, you can have bitmap or whatever. It's just a whole bunch of different pieces that are rotated and skewed and whatever, and then that's how it's animated. You can still have frame by frame stuff in a puppet, but on the whole it's a bunch of different pieces that are kind of glued together with different contraptions like this, where you have a leg and it's controlled by different pieces, and this one's connected to there, and this one has different properties and stuff like that. So yeah. Got me really into animation was MLP was probably the actually biggest influence, believe it or not. But I think just watching cartoons as a kid, like SpongeBob and Nickelodeon, Disney, Cartoon Network, movies. Because that's what you watch as a kid, you know, it was all these stuff, and it's like, wow, these are cool. And then I watched the behind the scenes on the Monsters Inc. DVD, and then seeing the people who made it and being like, these guys are having so much fun on their scooters running around. It's like, man, a bunch of adults having fun and making and being well, you know, going past like these are characters, you know, being like these are you know, technology, you know, these aren't real people. I guess I knew that from a pretty young age, apparently. But yeah, being able to see what they do and how they take from seeing like the progression reels are really fun. Uniform, and then seeing how they go from a start of an animation, from like storyboard design all the way up to final lighting. Being really interested in like those progression reels and being like, wow, these are cool. And of course MLP with all the assets and stuff online, seeing like what other people have made, like Double Rainbow and all that. Definitely was my cornerstone to animation. That's alright. No, it's completely hidden by everything there. I want to make this... I can hide the cutie mark maybe like a little bit. She got big fluffy wings, so... Let's see if we can accentuate that just a little bit more. There we go. And everything's jelly, you know, we can always change things later. Nothing's really set in stone for any of this. Okay, cool. Wing. Let's go here. Let's go here. Beep. Let's see what we got. Get in there. This is what I mean. Like I said at the top, if we weren't here, for anyone, that this... We could probably get like the building blocks and stuff for all this done within a couple hours, but to really get this perfect and to get all the different designs here to make them all look and work, be able to make this work, is gonna take a while to get this to even look remotely. It's not perfect still, but it's like it's remotely okay. It's like I can at least get this pose and be like, okay, and then I can then start animating different pieces and stuff. But scared, but that's gonna be our next thing to tackle. Is that now? Is there anything I'm missing? Not there was any leg stuff I'm missing. It's a little bit different design there. Unfortunately, I don't have her legs. Sort of fluffy. Okay. Your wings are super fluffy too. Let me get some more water actually. I'll read your comments here. Okay. Flash 5, wow. I think the earliest I used was Flash CS6, and I thought that was old. I remember the Master Sync too? Awesome. Finished commercial modeling back in the 90s, early 2000s. Awesome. Tertiary behind the scenes, yeah. That's what I did on computer. The computer was animation, yeah. So, I think it's the best part. Multiverse. Yeah, if I didn't get into 2D and then now pseudo 3D, where I'm doing 2.5D with my movie, the Paper Derpy series, I think I would have got into stop motion. I did take a summer class, like a junior high, to learn some stop motion and use the stop motion software, and have some fun with different toys and clay and different figures and stuff. And I remember having a real fun with that. I think that was a little bit before I got into 2D. So I think if I actually wanted to, in some sort of multiverse, I probably would have gotten into more stop motion and had more, maybe some more career with that instead. I think I'm happy with 2D, with this kind of stuff, puppets and stuff, that it feels like, obviously with stop motion, you're extremely limited by real life. You're limited by real physics, by real lighting and setup, and you can't really go back in time. They always say like you can't, go backwards in stop motion, but I'm sure if you try really hard, you probably could. If you need like to do a pickup, frame or something, then I'm sure you probably could, but yeah, it'll definitely feel a little bit off, so I had to still do some post-processing or something, like get the camera exactly back in the same place and setup and all that. But if everything's locked off, then you might be able to, or you might have like a pickup drawing, like, and if you have 10 frames and if you wanted to change frame 2, you might go to frame 11 and then make that 2 and then reorder the frames, so yeah. It's possible, but yeah, it's probably that's why it's frowned upon in stop motion to not go back in time. Lego stop. I think I might have thought about doing Lego, but then I always just use toys and figurines and stuff. Yeah. Heard this now. Music is really. Always that's how much message and general content can deliver, so it's basic. Okay. Do 2D right now in a little bit. It's just a drawing, but your drawings come to life in the end. They're just really radical. I know. Be able to just like play it back and be like, you just get so fussy about like making sure that every asset in one frame, can look good or not, and it's like just getting really into it and getting into the weeds of like and then it's like, then you just hit play and it's like it just works and it's like, oh man. Whoa. Deformer Pipp. Still got our wing. Let me see if I can turn that off. If I go to here, I can cut it from there. Beep. There we go. Which reminds me, I need to add a deformer to her wing, which maybe not her, maybe not work. Let's turn these off. Let's turn this sketch back off. Wing. It's not back on the wing, so what I can do is add a new deformer by clicking the wrench and hammer thing here. Tool properties, and then I can put in a point there and a point there. Put these Bezier corners here, go to transform, and so now I can do the deformer and kind of wiggle this around if I wanted to. So we can have a little fake, kind of like, oh, she's flapping her wings, she's gonna take off, kind of a thing. So that's a new element there. So it creates this, And for every reason always. This is a little glitchy. And so it sets up like that. Creates the point over here, and then the curve, and then input and output there. Yeah. You guys are friends. Thank you. Because that's part of the wing. It's here. There's some drawing over there. Let's fix that. Rotation should be around here too. And because that's all connected there, so I move the body, that should move too. Awesome. Okay. Wings, okay. Good. So I might go for 1 more hour, we'll see. Obviously my voice is a little bit off. I'm already getting a little hoarse. Let's see. Oh, the cool thing with the deformer? Yeah, that was fun. It's super simple too. It's like, again, like 2 points. But as this is a Toon Boom, I'm not sure if it's a premium thing. There's different layers and paid versions of Toon Boom. There's basic, intermediate, and premium. You only get the node view, which is all of this, which is I think the most best selling point for Toon Boom, and why you would choose Toon Boom over some other software is the node view, which unfortunately you do need to pay in some sense to get the premium version. So not even the basic or the intermediate one, which I don't know why you would need intermediate. Intermediate has some stuff, but you can check the Toon Boom website to see what exactly is involved in each one. But yeah, they just put the node view against a huge paywall that I knew that I would eventually pay it off, but it's like it was a huge investment to be able to be able to play with all this. But yeah, so imagine trying to do all of this of crazy node stuff, but you would have to use the keyframe editor here and then try to do some stuff and move these around, and you basically can't. So yeah, that's where this comes in, and so you can visually see all of these fun stuff going on here. So yeah, so that's like the only like kind of like okay stuff as like Toon Boom does, but it makes sense that you probably want only true animators and true aspiring artists to really be able to use the best tools. But yeah, it's kind of a little iffy with that. Anyway, let's go back to hair and then see what we can do. So I think what I did with Sunny and Izzy is that I did it from the front view first, and then because then you can kind of move from the front view and then get to a side view and then up and down from here, and then do the other side and then up and down. Everything kind of bases from the front, and then you're just kind of morphing the different pieces that were from the front and moving it from left to right. And then up and then down. So let's try and do that. Beep. So we'll start from the front, and then what I probably want to do is probably just honestly want to start over. I probably just want a clean slate, because then try to like morph what I have into this. I mean, it's already, this is the hair for Sunny, so yeah. Probably want to just delete some of this stuff here. Apparently some stuff is in back here. Snout, haircut, cut out. Need that. Skull. Where's the rest of his hair coming from? Oh, there's another one over here. Beep. There we go. It's real I had 2 composites for like the front and then all the back. Yeah, back hair, ponytail. Let's just move this off to the side, and then we'll make a new hair. And so I can still like kind of reference it maybe, and then work from here. So add a new composite, and then pop it somewhere. And then we'll start building it up. Okay. So, what do we need? We need to figure out exact style. So somewhere a little bit maybe more complex than this, but maybe a little bit less complex than this. So somewhere in the middle, I'm thinking. Kind of keep it closer to this style, I think. So maybe just a couple, maybe these kind of designs here, and maybe these little ribbons here. But then, yeah, not worrying about too much other stuff. Some of these lines, these creases, yeah. Maybe I'll just build up what pieces I want and then draw each one. And then we'll go from there. So I think we'll probably just have all the pieces, but then to do the 3D, you know, pseudo 3D head movement, that might be another day. Be able to do all this. You can see how much fun this is, though. Yeah. But yeah. Okay. Okay, we got composite. Probably want to rename this. Always going to be tidy. So I'm going to make a whole bunch of different pieces. So I'm going to look at this one and then decide what I want to call these. So Pipp. Want this one to be hair. Little side. Not exactly curly, but maybe short. That might be good. And again, yeah, all of that is just picking out different poses and then being good and at least knowing the perspective so that when you kind of move her head at different poses, I chose like 9 different poses of her head in different poses and angles, I should say. So like front, up, down, left, up, down, right, up, down, and then Toon Boom interpolates it. So to get that smooth, that's the magic of Toon Boom, is that it's figuring out what goes in between those poses. So if you have good perspective, and at least it's only as good as what you put into it. So that's why having a whole bunch of different pieces that you saw for the hair, for Sunny, and then being knowledgeable of perspective helps a lot, because then it'll work basically and look good. So yeah. Hair, front, probably have swoop, and then front. I want to call this maybe the back or the behind. And then the hair, curly for, I'm thinking like all of this to be one piece. And then the, what would you guys call this kind of, the gold? I want to call it like a headband or something. I'll call that for now. But if there's a better name for that, I'll get that going. Headband, close, front, behind, swoop, side short, going over there. Headband, tiara? Yeah, is that how you spell it? Tiara. I'll call it bow for now. Swoop goes on top, and then headband tiara, and then looks like the side almost goes next, and then let's kind of keep that going. The curly, this bottom part, and then the front behind goes behind. Having these kind of go left to right from top to bottom kind of helps a lot too. And that's kind of how Toon Boom works, is that it works from left to right downward in space. Just thinking about how complicated that even sounds. So from the left is closest to you, and then right is farthest away from you. Okay, each of these then get pegs. Or should I explain what pegs are? So you have drawing layers, which are the blue ones. They hold the artwork information, and then the pegs hold the transformation, rotation, scale information. By doing it this way, Toon Boom can separate and make different sort of channels for exactly what it sounds like. Instead of like rotating your drawing through space, you're having a separate entity that then can handle those transformations and whatevers. And of course, when we did the wings, we had those deformers, which allows you to then curve it, which is its own separate channel that then can have its own keyframe stuff. So with Flash and especially regular animation, you don't have to really worry about that because you're just drawing every single drawing. It's its own fresh picture, hopefully. And so with a fresh picture, you don't really need that sort of, you know, you're not using it over and over repeatedly. But with puppets and stuff, you're using these same pieces consistently, so that this eyeball is being used throughout the entire animation as its own same drawing. Like it never really changes drawing unless you actually go in and they have different eyebrows. You know, unless you physically change it to be a different picture, then it won't change it. So hopefully that makes sense. Well, I'm glad to see you. Good to have you. Oh, it is weird. Okay, sorry. I thought you were new. Sorry. It just sounded like you just came in. Alright. Starts designing music. Designing music's fun. Was that the ABBA music video? Yeah. Oops. Beep. So I'm creating a web of information to take the parent peg, which is the head, which controls everything underneath it as children. So it's like, I don't know if you guys did this in kindergarten. I didn't, but I've seen this a lot where, you know, like in kindergarten, you would have like all the kids hold the rope, and then the teacher holds the front end of the rope, and all the kids hold the rest of the rope, and that's supposed to make sure that all of them kind of stay together. So you can think about it like that the teacher, it has a rope that connects to the children, and so apparently the teacher has infinite amount of ropes that it's actually controlling and connecting, I should say, to all the different children. So it's not one-to-one with that, but at least that something's close to think about it that way. Here, outline. So we're gonna do the same technique. We're also go through each of these different pieces now and draw them out, and then rig them up and design them, and then make some more decisions later of how this is actually gonna work. Let's start with this one. I'll do a little side one here. Decide how this will look. So I'll probably have to layer this between a couple different layers. So I'm already thinking, like, instead of having it literally stop where the ear is, I'm overhanging it so that it can extend a little bit further, so that it can be moved around, you know, so you can move this down a little bit and it won't be cut off. Because if you cut it literally where the ear is, and if you want to move it down, then it would just be cut off. So having it extend and also kind of circle at the end is pretty universal thing too, where for rigging, where you want to overhang, where you extend it past the regular boundaries, and so you can make sure that nothing, so when you start animating, you're not being limited by how far you can move pieces, because that's the whole point, is to make sure that you have a huge amount of flexibility with your drawings. Because with puppets, you have to make sure that each piece can go as far as it possibly can and get as much mileage from one drawing as much as you can. So it's kind of like a fun puzzle to like figure out, like, should I use one picture for this or maybe two to get some more complicated artistic rigging possibilities? Because obviously if you only have like one drawing, then that limits you into like being able to really do certain types of actions. But if I split this up into maybe like two pieces, I might be able to then do some more complicated stuff and like bend it at this, you know, the bottom half, you know, split it in half vertically, the top and bottom half, and you might be able to then have the bottom half do its own thing, you know, and transform it, kind of a thing. Yeah, so that should do. I probably want to find a way to make these a little bit tighter as well. But instead of having this kind of go to a circle, would like this to maybe like go to a point. Maybe. And we can add like more shading and maybe extra design stuff maybe later too. So I'm seeing that maybe I want to redesign this to be a little bit more chunky. Having different shapes here. Having this be less organic is also fun. Maybe a little bit more fun of it. There we go. Okay. Yeah. And of course we can always just hide it behind her head. Let's see, maybe. I think the ears, if I wanted to hide it behind the ear, I might have to do a little bit more tinkering around to get that going, but I think it might be hidden by some other pieces, so I think I'm just gonna have to move on to figure some of that stuff out here. Let's see, front, behind. Might want to get the rest of this going first. TR will set up the horizontal limit of that, so then I can figure out how much room I have for the rest of this. Okay, so it's basically just a rinse and repeat kind of style, like having to make each asset. And again, I can make any of these. I can make this piece, you know, into split this up into 10 different pieces and then see where that goes. I was thinking like maybe I should add the deformers, but I could do the deformers maybe later. For now, I can just start to work on drawing, sketching these out. I also want to think about would this work as in 3D space. And I'm thinking I may want to do something more tricky with this one, where I may want to actually draw this actually as a perfect square, more like this, and then add deformers to then, because you can have a deformer like at each corner, imagine this, and then you have like a curve to be able to add a bezier, and then you'll be able to actually curve it up or down, and then you can take a square and then curve it upward, and then you create this rainbow instead. So that's what I'm thinking I'm gonna do. Yeah, alright. So obviously with regular 2D and regular drawing stuff, you probably wouldn't have to worry about any of this. But the way that I have to do it to make the master controller, or if we move the head around to actually deform it in special ways, obviously the hair's not rigged yet, you need to have more flexibility than what you normally use or what you normally think you need. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to split up the headband into little pieces anyway. So let's just get the tiara Feathers, frill, feathers, and then I'm gonna have to do another one for the olive. I'm gonna call it the olive, which is this part. Which I guess in the real, you know, quote 3D one, I guess that's more of a pretty jewel. I don't think I do I have a picture of it in 3D. Yeah, it's hard to see. It's an olive now, and you won't be able to unsee that now. Nice. It's just a it's just a pendant picture thing, but definitely in this one, it's definitely an olive. Okay. I have more stuff to worry about. You know, they're just these, but no. That's why this got complicated. And see how complicated this hair got. This is Sunny's, the one that we had before. We have different bangs, small bangs, they'll main burn. Hair top purple, sun back, ponytail. Yeah. So this is just getting started of just figuring out how to rig this up. Is like, okay, I need a couple more pieces to get this going. And then each piece, you know, again needs love and care to figure that out, where you're gonna need deformers and then figure out each piece for then each pose. And then, yeah, so that's what I mean of just how complicated this does get. Curly can go there. It's got a long name. Feathers. I think they're... Okay, so you have the tiara. That should be the bottom, the base, and then... Yeah, the feathers go next. Beep. So that's this part. And then the olive actually goes on top. Layer stack wise. Like that. And then we'll just have to, you know, just kind of, you know, extend this just a little bit more. Just how more complex. I'm already seeing like how many more I might want to also need. I might need some helpers. I usually make like helper pieces to like kind of fill in gaps or be patches and yeah, to be able to like have extra pieces that sole job is to make other pieces look good. Okay, so now we got the tiara as one set. The front swoop is one set, and then curly, and then the short one that we got one at least, and then this one's almost like a helper 2 in a way, where I'm thinking this will just be behind everything, and just to make sure that no gaps sort of happen, kind of a thing. But alright, let's go back. Now that we have more pieces to worry about. So the tiara, headband, this is more of the, I'm gonna call it the base, which will just be a rectangle. Sunny. I think we need colors for it actually. So we got magenta. Yeah, I don't think we have colors for it. We got this color, but I think I want a unique color. And so I can change the tiara color on its own if I want to as well. So now we're gonna have colors. Tiara, fill, tiara, out, and then olive, fill, olive, out. Oop. Whoa. Hang on there. Slow down. Okay. So tiara fill, will be this one. Tiara out. That'd be a little tricky. Olive fill. Olive out. One of these. And then, of course, we can always adjust it. Afterward, base. See what we got here. There you are. Okay. So now, we got things more set up. Ooh, okay. Let's see, so I can put this on the lower layer, get this going. And then just make a general rectangle. Like that. Let's color it. There. So we got that. And let's see if we can go through my layers, sub layers here. It's not enough just to have layers. You also need sub layers. So I have the line art and the color art on one layer, sub layer. So I'm gonna split that up. Put this on a color. Is that a color? Fill is now in the color sub layer. The line art is now in the line art layer. And now I can. That just helps with some stuff later. Let's see. And so what I want to do is also select the drawing layer, rig mode, curve, and then click on each corner here. Beep, 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 beep. Try to close it maybe. That didn't work. Beep. Maybe I have to hold a button. I think there's an extra button I have to click to close it. I forgot how to do this. How to make a closed circuit. Oh, there we go. I don't know. This was... What I want to do is just solo this. Go into rig mode. Playing Halo? Awesome. I don't know nothing about that. This got a little, I don't know, a little too complex here. Whoops, looks like we got a little too many jimmies here. Uh-oh. So I think it's probably this one. This one could be connected back there. Okay. And then straighten these all out. So not only are you having to have good drawing techniques, but you also have to like have this weird immense amount of like knowledge of how Toon Boom itself works to be able to really do stuff that's supposed to save your work, you know, and save you time later. But a lot of this does take a while just to set this up. So, but basically now we have this. So now again, if I want to create that bowed shape, if I didn't have these, obviously I wouldn't be able to do any of that. But now we're gonna have a simple shape that now we can play around with and curve it up in any kind of shape now we want. See how cool it is now. You want to have this kind of go down. You want this one go up, this one go down, this one go up. You sure can. And you can keyframe this. You can keyframe any of these points too and curves. All will be recorded as well. So you can keyframe it and do any sorts of stuff with it. So you're not limited by setting this into a specific pose and then hoping that it works throughout. You can like keyframe each individual piece. So it's really fun. I did check out that Flash almost has this, but it's like the, you know, of course it's gonna be the Flash equivalent of, it's almost like the bootleg version, which is really weird. It's like just really sad. That's like the Flash version of new features that they're just trying to catch up with all the competition, but Flash is just gets to always the end. You know, the worst end of the stick of like, yeah, you're trying, but you get the weird, not great version of all these tools. I love you though, but it's just not good to, it's not fun to use. Just not powerful enough to do these sorts of things. So now anyway, we can now do this and be like, wow, I made this made this shape. And there we go. Okay. Reshape it. Let's play with this a little bit to can get a little unruly, but there's not too many points that it's like it becomes impossible, so there we go. Okay, one part down. While we're at it, should we just add some points here? Yeah, let's just do like a regular 2-point. Beep. Okay. And of course, a lot of this comes from practice of just knowing the limitations or just how it usually wants to work. There are ways to definitely break this, and especially breaking it a little bit further than usually it wants to. It's like, so you can see like if I go too far, then yeah, just doing that, then it breaks. The drawing itself actually breaks, so you have to like get it up here, curve it back around, and then try to jimmy this back, and now it works. So it takes a little bit of doing, but the end product is still way better than the alternative of anything Flash would probably want you to do it in their way. There we go. Okay, so we got 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're already 2/7 of the way there. Okay, should we keep going? Okay. While we're on the headband, let's do the feathers and just get the tiara going. And then we have to think again, is there a way that I may want to split this up or do any kind of special things with this? So I'm thinking if we want to have flexibility, then we may want to divide this up, but then maybe if we really want to, we could have each of these feathers be their own object. So you can see, you could just keep dividing this up and be like, oh, well, this feather needs to be divided up, and then maybe this ribbon thing here, maybe this thing here needs to be its own thing. And split it up. The benefits of it is that then you can have, say, like, I want this feather to move, but not these ones. If you put all of them into one asset, to be able to animate it, you would have to either do the old-fashioned way of having to draw different frames of it kind of moving around and doing that. But if you want to do it the puppet way, where you have cut out, then the only way to then do that would be to actually have to split it up. Obviously we have a whole bunch of stuff already, which this is pretty infinite. I mean, it just makes the rig what they call heavier, where I guess you can, I don't know, but I guess you can think about it as the more stuff you have, the, you know, if everything has a weight to it, then having a whole bunch makes it heavier. If you just add up every element, it just makes the rig a little bit harder to process. Like, the computer actually has to process every single element here at the same time to be able to do, to figure things out. So the more stuff you put into it is then gonna kind of make it a little bit more upset of how many things you have to work on for it to compute. And I know that animation wise, I'm thinking I'm wanting to at least have some sort of depth as well. I had to say, but I might want to split it up. Maybe I'll do that later. At least I can put them onto different sub layers and then play with that. So maybe we'll just go for that for now. Do as a little tester, you know, do a little quick thing first, and then and then figure it out. I think I'll just go with this for now. Okay, it gets me some leaks here. Yeah. So, obviously you can always go back and change things up, but I think for now, for this stream, just to keep the pace going, and I think I'm just gonna do this onto one, and then we'll just have to pretend, and then say like, wow, it looks good, and then, you know, back in my mind, it will be like, couldn't split this up into something else, and, you know. Because then it also, you know, it just limits the animation in some way, too. That's how you get those, you know, limited style animations, is by limiting the amount of, for puppets specifically, you then won't be able to have the flexibility of what, you know, some other styles might, just like how the animation will be. What? By having less parts means that you won't be able to move as many parts to get smoother motions, per se. This looks horrible, but oh, beep. I think just these fries need to be smoothed out a little bit, a little more even. And I think with the perspective, you also want to kind of get these a little closer. Okay. Yeah. We'll have to come back to this one. I'm not sure about that one. Okay, the olive. I'll get my olive. I'll use my circle tool and be like, whoops, made an olive. Alright. Looks like it's somehow lower than the base. Looks like we have to reorder. The base needs to be lower. Beep. So, should we just reorder these? Like that. More organized here, the better. Making sure that the composite noodles that come out are in a nice line that looks like they're not twisted around, because I'm sure some of these are. Yeah, at least this one's kind of twisted. Some of these don't have. Well, some of these need more than one input output, so it does get impossible to really make it clean. But yeah, some of these get. They're little groups, but yeah, they're all. Yeah. There you go. Olive done. Okay, cool. Anything else? I can always go back and add more. Like I can add some shading, which might be its own sublayer. Maybe something else might be a helper layer. Like if I want to add like a shine or something, I might want to add that as a separate element and then figure that out. So again, like all these couple GR stuff might be 10 individual pieces, you know. Let's just get the hair. And then we'll probably be good for there. Be good after that. And then the fun part is that this will only really work for the front view. So might be interesting to see what this will look like in other views, like the more side views. Like if we go to, what does it look like from there? What does it look like from there? I have to see just how far this turns to figure out like how much flexibility I should need. there is a good perspective shift from here to here. So that's going to be up to how many pieces and how well rigged these are. Will determine how well this will work. So that's why I'm like, here's not one piece. This will be in separate pieces, no matter what. It might have to do same weird techniques where it did with the headband, where it'll have to be a weird shape or weird default shape and then morphed. Because I think even the skull, yeah, I think I did the skull as one, it's just a circle. But with the magic of deformers, I shifted the shape of it to then change it into this kind of cheeky kind of shape here. So that's what I'm saying, is that you're able to also morph this into a shape that you want afterward. But you can use this as a base template of I made this circle, but then changed it to deformer shapes to then morph it into these different perspectives and different pictures here. And that's how it's able to, Toon Boom's able to interpolate them so easy, is because we have a very basic shape and well-defined deformers that are doing what they need in the least amount of moving around. It's good to make sure that each point is in a very still place, like they're not, like this doesn't really become this ear over here, this isn't moving too far between these different pieces, like it just becomes the cheek between here to here. So some fun stuff like that. So I'm thinking for maybe these hair pieces that I might want to do something similar, but the way that it's very curvy and roundy and complex, that it might be a bit tricky to like fully grasp what I want. We're trying to figure out like almost like unwrapping it, you know, with like a present, you know, you have wrapping paper that goes around the box, but like that wrapping paper isn't a three-dimensional object, you know. You're just wrapping it around a 3D object, so when you take the wrapping paper back off, or like when before you start, you know, it's a flat sheet of paper. So it's like, what does, like I have it, what I have here is the hair, but what I want to see is what would it look like before it goes onto the object. You know, with the skull, it was just a generic circle. So I'm trying to, in my mind, figure out what that means for the hair here. Excuse me. Obviously the swoop is probably fairly simple. It'll be from here and probably cut off here. Or in another picture, maybe. That looks pretty good. That it can, if we continue this line down, you can always make a point here and then have another piece that then can carry on from there and then kind of overlap each other, kind of a thing. What you're saying, it's almost like it's, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of trial and error in that. This is gonna take a couple days of work, so I don't expect to finish this too simply here. Okay. Jeez. Okay. Hi, Louis. Hello. I'm half stalling, but I think I'm gonna figure this out. I got this. Yeah. Here we go. All right. Gonna do it. Gonna do it now. Here we go. Alright. So let's do the swoop. So obviously what we have is a lot of complex shapes that kind of go around. Let me just trace that real quick. Swoop. So we got this. And then I might want to just simplify it into there. and then they're shaped like that. So that's the basic shape, and then I can have some shape there, and then round that out. In a sense, I mean, you can always just stick a box and then just have a whole bunch of different pieces, but knowing the amount and also make it flexible later, because obviously I can do like point, and then get that to look good. But I'm also thinking like if I want to change it, would I need more points later? Like from here to here is one curve, might be one curve, but maybe I want one more there. And to add points later might be, you can't really add more later. So just knowing the exact amount might be important here. Oop. So we're definitely, oop, okay. I feel like I have erase on. So we need a point here, point. This could be one. Maybe here. This could be one. This could be one there. I want to add one here actually. And I'm thinking maybe this one could be more here. I might want to make from here to here a little bit more streamlined. Yeah, that might be better. Okay. So now, why am I doing this? The most complex way possible. Okay. So, let's get our hair again, hair outline. Go into new, and then we'll get our shape there, fill. And so we'll just get our nice big rectangle. And then figure out how many points I want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so maybe I want 8. So what I could do is, we'll have to make it from here. So you go into here, to probably into this one. And then in here, add 8 points. Beep. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Telling me all the crazy ways to do this. I want a line art layer just so I can see only the line art, so that I don't see my sketch layer. So now it'll only render my line art. Okay. And then we'll have to go through each of these. These kind of set up the base deformers. Obviously having it be as close to the original mesh, original shape will help it better. If it's too off the grid, then the mesh doesn't really, the deformer doesn't really understand what the mesh itself is, and so it can get a little bit wonky. Obviously wouldn't do this with regular rigging. I'm only really doing this because I know that I'm gonna have to make a master controller out of this. The only reason that I'm doing this is so that my master controller can be as flexible as possible without feeling limited by the original shape that I give it. Because if I draw it in one shape, I think I'm only in solid view. Whoop. Ah. So if I draw it in like one shape here, in 3/4, it's gotta like change how it's formed. And then it changes form here. So it'll be pretty subtle, but at least it'll just give me at least a little bit of wiggle room. More than if I didn't, kind of a thing. You notice it's completely extra and doesn't need to really be like this. Like this is so past like just regular rigging and just how you set up these sort of stuff that it's like, why? Why even bother? You know, this is way too much work for what I'm really trying to accomplish here, but let's do this. Add 2 here. I do have 1 extra, so I'll have to put this one there. And then we'll just have to play the D. Curves. And then make sure that they all go essentially the right way here. And again, we might be pushing this a little bit further than maybe it expects. There will be some instances where it's just probably going to break down a little bit further than I want. Well, we should be good. And what I probably want to do is also don't need that now. Take this and pop that there, and then remove that, which then replaces that. So maybe it doesn't work. I mean, this is trial error as well. Like we have to just kind of see what works and what doesn't, and be like, okay. Maybe that doesn't work, maybe this will work, but maybe what's causing this to break? What's over here? And then we get something close to what we want. Yeah. So it'll be a little bit more work to get this exact, but at least get the idea of what we want. It's probably a little bit too big. What I can do probably just take the entire thing and just kind of squish it down and just kind of replace it. So there we go. I'm pushing it in space. I think because that's pretty good. Okay. And then about to play a lot of depth kind of stuff. The layer order will need to be adjusted. Okay. And then all of the sweaters. Curly. Curly's the bottom half of this. So let's see. So we'll do the same thing again. And I think that'll be the... We got that one too, just in case. Which I think this needs to be. Again, we'll have to figure this out. That's okay. I don't really expect to get this on the first try of anything either, so it'll work out. It's a little bit of time. Give it some time. It'll figure it out. Something like that. I'm thinking now that I've been doing all of these that it might be a little better to maybe just keep this to be one shape here. It does change a little bit, but we could probably just play with how it kind of just morphs. So we'll probably just do it as one shape here. And if that doesn't work, then we'll have to then split it up into how we did the main hair. I think what I was trying to say there was I'll keep this to be the simple ponytail style where it's just like one shape with like a 2-point deformer, and then if that happens to not work with later rigging, then I'll have to then figure that out. Oops. Looks like I put all my lines on the wrong layer. There we go. But how are we enjoying this so far? I know I got extremely technical, but it's like impossible to really avoid some of this sort of trickiness, because that's what Toon Boom really does drive on, is its weird creative complexity, you know? That it's just not a draw here, keyframe, draw, next drawing, you know, kind of software. It's like, if you want stuff like this, you know, to make stuff look interesting, you do have to put a little bit of weird muscle into it to get it to really look okay, you know? So, hope I didn't make it too boring or really hard to understand, but understand that this is complex, so there we go. Okay. And then let's just move on. This will be the last one, which I think I might just do it the same way, where I just do a rectangle and then deform it. Okay. Space is just rectangle. Here, outline. Roughly right space. Split up the sub layers, and then set up deformers, which I like to see what I'm doing, so that's why I go into solo mode. Okay. Gotta select the layer. Okay. Beep, 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 beep. I know that like when I was setting up this file today of like finding Pipp references and like finding the 3D versions and the 2D versions and the cutie marks and all that, I was like, maybe I should not do Pipp and do Zip instead, because Zip's design is just a lollipop, mohawk thing, and then that's it. So maybe, yeah. But I was thinking like I also did like so much prep work already, and it was coming late to like really change things without being in a rush to like really change my my plans today. So I know this was a lot, but I did realize afterward that, you know, before I started, you know, I was like, yeah, I wonder if people would think like this is weird, this is complex, and maybe a bit too much for you guys. So sorry if this was way over your head, because I know that it definitely was for me when I started. I was like, started using Toon, and I was like, you can what even deformer? That sounds bad. Like, you don't want that, you know. Yeah, right now I realize that's the most amazing thing ever. Let's pop this back in space, back a little bit. Beep. And again, that'll just be a helper to make sure that everything else stays in line. Okay. I know this isn't exactly good yet, but that's why it's a process. We gotta figure this out as we go along. I'm thinking I might just do this on my own, because I think the process to like really fix this up and like do all the different poses will also kind of be just about the same, and even probably more boring, because it's like doesn't feel like anything's really happening. It'll just be trial and error, and yeah, just like making things over and over and then trying to make it work, and then be like, that didn't work, and it's like, okay, diagnosing the problem and being like, okay, maybe, I don't know, this, and being like, man, that didn't work. And then just keep working on it to figure it out. But I think we got a good, we're at a good point here. There we go. Let's see how flexible this all is. Obviously some weird clipping stuff, especially there. Again, there are limits to how far you can push all of this stuff, but where is she front facing? I don't have front facing with complete front facing, so maybe I should. I could just go maybe beep front facing. I'll have to undo this because this is a pose, so I was like trying to make sure that this doesn't override anything that I already have, but oh well. There we go. Little clippings, weird stuff going on here, but I hope this was still fun. It's still fun to watch. She'll look pretty. Hopefully later she's just getting ready. Looks like I need to change these, but I want to undo some of this stuff, so I'll have to. There you go. Her hoops were weird colored. Okay. I think I'll call it good for here. That was about 2 hours. Then we go to toaster time. I'll undo what I just did to make sure that this is all good. Then I can fix the everything there. But yeah, again, this will be a part of a larger, you know, thing. So I didn't expect to really finish this. I mean, it's impossible to really finish this within a couple hours. That's why it's someone's job to in a workspace to just do rigging and just make character rigs and do what I did today of like I would think that they would maybe have the art assets and then it's just figuring out the weird creative logistic problems of like, well, if you have this hairband that needs to go layer between this layer that needs to be above this layer but also behind this one, then it needs to be somehow between here and here. I'm thinking I haven't even done cutters yet. Maybe I have to do that. That might help. Or you can have like some operations to cut off some pieces if they overlap. And that helps when you want to have essentially like have like the headband needs to be behind her hair but also in front of some other pieces. So it's like, well, that means you can just have the cutter to say like, okay, something that needs to be, if the headband needs to be behind something, then you can have when the hair goes in front, then to cut it off, kind of thing. So I could have like the headband be on top of everything, and then have it just be cut where the hair goes on top. And so that might help with some layering stuff. Because otherwise, yeah, having things go weave in and out does get way more complex than it already, you know, is. So, but yeah. Hi Ben, welcome. Nice, so good to see you again. Yeah, I feel this is actually a pretty good kind of schedule. I don't know how you guys feel about like every other Saturday. I don't know if that's easy on your calendars to be reminded, maybe. I mean, I do these so impromptu anyway. Then I took off the... Yeah, streams are now on a schedule. Please watch it for announcements. But I super appreciate you guys for coming in and watching. Yeah. I guess it's just a little bit inconvenient for me, Cookie, that it's like a little bit early. I have to like wake up a little bit early. I woke up at like I mean, I usually wake up at like at 7 to get to work, but we'll like to sleep in a little bit because I get so tired from work that having to then wake up another day after that. But and then try to set up all of this stream stuff does take a bit. Like I had to find like I had to like find and create all of the different references, like all the pictures on the side. So, and also set up a lot of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, this is if this works for you, then obviously having a mod be available is probably the priority out of this. Yeah. Ooh. Again, I also updated my little avatar. I don't know if you can really see it, but when I kind of move my head back and forth, let's see if that really works. There's a slight parallax, which means that the head kind of morphs around a little bit. It's pretty subtle. Again, if I adjust it to be higher, then things start breaking. So, I spent some time on that, so hope you like it. Yeah. Oh, and thank you. I appreciate it, Dakota. Premiere. Thank you. Yeah. There's a good cover you have covered. Thank you. Yeah, it's just kind of like, you know, being little. It's just childish to be like, oh, I don't want to wake up early on a Saturday, kind of a thing. Yeah, I know. At least for me, I do put a lot of my effort into work. Like I'm trying to be as productive as possible. And again, with work has been, we're apparently in the very, very busy, super, super amount of orders. I don't know where I was going. So many T-balls and sports medals. Yeah. And again, just trying to find ways to be as optimal as possible is what I like to do. So I don't have to spend as much time on each one. You know, it's kind of like I can either spend 10, 20 minutes trying to make it perfect and do it the long way, or I can just try to find a hack and then do it within like a couple minutes, and I'll be able to do even more stuff and then get through all my work and invoices and stuff. Like I literally get production invoices that say like use base B 2x4, this is a 13-inch riser column, and then it's like, oh okay, and it'd be like this full page worth of like all these specifications, and it's like, oh, all I really need is the plate size, and it's like, oh, B-base got it. At least just understanding what that means, and then I can go from there. So I guess having more invoices or more copies that are like just for me or like the co-workers might be a bit much, but because I do have to like spend some time and read through it to figure out like where exactly, like what information is actually important to me, kind of a thing. But yeah, a lot of the time is just kind of going through it, reading the invoice line by line and be like, okay, what is important here? And be like, okay, it's a metal. Looking at the SKU, which is like the product ID number, and then figuring out what exactly that means. Because even sometimes they have updated versions of the SKUs where it's like, oh, we're not using this size base, we need this one. And it's like, okay, now I need to update all of these templates that I have. I'm having to create templates on my own. I'm sure the other coworkers have their own versions of it, but they'll probably be out of date anyway. So making templates like medals, you know, like the circle ones where it's like you put text in a circle is not my strong suit. I don't really like putting text in a circle, especially like the amount of longer names some of them are. Like the Seattle School of Performance Arts 2022 presents as Best Actor Award Jim Smith. And it's like, that's a lot to put on a medal anyway to begin with, but then it's like, how do you conform that and like kind of fit that wordage into, you know, like a 1.4 inch diameter circle? So it's like trying to figure out like, all these weird like stuff I never had to really deal with with, you know, animation stuff. You know, really do that specific stuff. But I guess some of those artistic and composition rules that I've learned along the way do help. Where it's like, oh, I need to fit this and like see what the composition fits is. I don't have to think about rule of thirds, but maybe just centering this. You know, I guess when I'm working, I'm not actively thinking like, oh, I learned this in animation. It's more like, oh, this is something I learned really in design school. And it's like, how would they approach it, or how the coworkers would approach it, or I think one of them said like, how would you like it to look if you had this as your trophy? And that helped a lot. That's like, oh, I would make the text, you know, from a 0.1 inch size to maybe a 0.2 size, and then set this up, and margins need to be, you know, this sort of way. And it's like, what I'm mostly doing is just setting up layout for maybe 2 or 3 lines of text into a square or a circle. But it's like, it's actually really involved. That it's like, I'm having to do so much composition and calculating, a lot of math. Like even doing this, I learned that a lot of text or text entry boxes are actually calculators, especially ones that are set up for numbers that you can type in. If you have like 10, you can put a +2 and then press enter and it'll give you 12. And it's like, that blew my mind. That's like, whoa, this saves like who knows how much time of like, you know, either you have to like enter you open a calculator app or whatever you have, get a calculator as a separate thing, punch in the exact number and go like, what was it, 10.257, okay, boop boop boop, put it into the calculator, plus 0.31, enter, that's a number, let me go copy that number and then rewrite it into the original app that I was using. And it's like, no, you can just put it into the original drawing app and then do any kind of calculations, plus minus, multiplication and division. That's what I've got as far as but all those work. And it's like, wow, that saves like way more time than you think. That's like cool, because there's a lot of times where it's like, I just need to jimmy this over and smidge this over like 0.05 of an inch. And it's like, oh, I can either try to figure that out numerically, or I could just type it in, you know, whatever number that's there, and then click right, and then get to the edge of it, you know, the right edge, and be like, okay, plus 0.05, and then boop, and then it'll also automatically, if you have the object selected, it'll also move it over at the same, with the right amount. So that's also like super cool and convenient. That's like, I just need to move this, you know, to the left about 0.31 and then down 2.5, so that the laser is a little bit more adjusted and calculated, and origin points is a little better. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of laser engravings, because that's apparently the new thing. A lot of people like that for trophies. It's way easier than having to hand engrave it with this giant drill thing. That apparently I got first dibs to really understand that, because the other coworkers say like they don't know how to use the DOS operating system that I have to use on the XP to do this old school drill. So, but they know how to use the lasers, and they got UV and acrylics and glass and older sort of stuff, but I get to play with lasers and a drill. So, but yeah, just like spending time and having to sit down. It's important to like take a breather and then recollect and go like, am I doing anything? Reflect on, am I doing anything that's like superfluous, or is this too much work for something that could be faster in some way? And so I thought about like how I said at the beginning that I was thinking that because my XP doesn't really have internet, maybe it does, I'll have to double check, but it's definitely not as usable or fast enough to be able to be usable at all anyway. So what's the alternatives? You know, can we figure out a way to get the text information that I need for the plates as fast as possible? Like, I get an invoice, how fast is it to be able to get a layout? I get a template for the size base, and then like how many times they need it, maybe like 10 to 11 for baseball, and then set up the team name on one line, duplicate that as a template all the way down, and then find out the player names for each person, and like how long does it take to actually set that up. And you know, the old way was like, okay, let me get the email, copy paste that into a Word document, clean that up, print it out, and then handwrite each name individually, and be like Gerald, G-E-R, and be like all the way down, and be like, okay, next one, okay, and write it all the way out. And I get these weird ones that are not weird, whoops, they're worldly, and they're a little bit hard for me to pronounce it perfectly. So it's like, whoa, okay. So it's like, WYXCHEV. And it's like, okay. So it's like, oh, okay. Now I have to really make sure that I get that spelled right. And it's like, there's gotta be a better way. So I'm just excited that, you know, this last Thursday I was able to sit down and be like, maybe we can have a way to have the boss set up a Word document and then send it to the network, which is possible, and we can send documents between the XP and his Windows 10. So it's like that's really cool. So we made a new folder, and then we're able to paste those documents in, and I can open it up and have Crawl open, and then copy and paste the text over. So that's saving me so much more time and be able to do even more. I'm already like a worker bee, as like I don't really take as many breaks as I probably should. You know, I just keep working. I kind of work 7.5 hours a day. That's probably why I'm so tired too, is trying to work as hard as possible by doing some slow processes, and I don't really take breaks. But it's just so much. Like I have like shelves for all the invoices that are like in the room, that are like these nice shelves, and it's like we put paper invoices, and it's like you gotta walk over there and pick it up and be like, okay, what do we got here? And you know, just up to whatever that maybe you have the information that you need, or maybe this is a little bit too complex, or like, you know, gotta figure it out. So being able to visually see like how much work basically you gotta do does make you want to go like, okay, let me just keep going, you know, like, okay, I can visually see like, okay, I got like 3 more to do that are due for this day. It's like, ooh, after that I got like 10 more for that day. So it's like, okay, I gotta pick up the pace to get those 3 done, so I can then work on ones that need to be done a little bit later, but I know that that's gonna take just as long, so it's like, okay. So yeah, just getting winded just by saying all that. But I think I'll probably wrap this up here. Let me get some more juice so I can calm down here. If there's anything else for me, guys, let me know. Otherwise, I think we'll wrap this up for today. And again, the schedule is pretty impromptu. It'll just kind of happen whenever. I know that from the previous stream, I think was the 3D Pipp, or what was it, the video game or the Pipp one? Anyway, I wanted to definitely work on this 2D Pipp rig anyway. Not for any particular reason, but just to be able to have a complete set by the end of this. So then we can then do a big cartoon maybe later. But I knew there's by having the option to then have all of them, I'd be able to then give you guys more choices. Because otherwise it'll be, you know, if you guys wanted the cartoon and then you wanted one of the G5 characters, is like, okay, well, you can have them, but you can only choose Sunny. So it should be best to have them all, and then have you guys then choose between them and be like, okay, all of these were possible, kind of a thing then. So yeah. If there's nothing else, I think we'll definitely wrap this up now. So let's see. So I will wrap up this Pipp model or rig, 2D, whatever. I guess whenever I have time. I'm also working on the movie. So that's always going to be a priority for me. I got like 2 3D shots in layout, and some basic blocking with those. So this past week, so that's not too bad. I've been working on the storyboards and making a character rig, which are on my Patreon. Little behind the scenes screenshots of those. So if you want to see some storyboards and little progress stuff, go check out my Patreon, patreon.com/Yoshi Greenwater. Link in the description. Whoa, That was a fun plug. Probably shouldn't have waited that long since could have said that earlier. Make sure more people saw it. Oh well. I will see you guys later. Oh yeah, I forgot. I also rigged her up so she can actually get sad, so she can be like, okay, I guess I will see you guys soon. Okay, guys, I'm apparently sad to say goodbye. I'm sad laughing. It's just so cute. Yeah, I rigged this so that she can now frown and be sad about things now. I added sad mode to her puppet. It's just so sad. Oh no! I got cheeks. Yeah. Okay, you guys take care. I'll have more Patreon posts maybe later, down the road once things are going. And then, maybe we'll continue this every other Saturday thing, or maybe I'll just try and do it every Saturday. I'll try and keep you guys posted. I'll probably stop being sad now. Whoop 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 whoop. There we go. Yeah. So then, till then, take care, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and talk to you guys later. Then, all right. Thank you, guys. All right. Bye. Bye bye. Bye 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 bye. Bye bye bye. Yeah. Bye bye bye.